Hey guys, some of you have asked about my workflow and editing style for my HDR images, so just wanted to make a little video. You have to excuse the background noise because I don't have a microphone. Got some Fortnite going on down there. But so here's house I shot yesterday, and I deleted some of the images and just went through and put some of the shots I thought might help y'all out with the first round of edits, and then running through Infuse, and then doing the second round of edits and the export. So here's I got the Mavic Pro. I got a presets I've gotten over here from a couple of folks off of the Facebook group here. Rich Baum has a bump and a secret sauce he does, and I think I took some of it and made my own changes to it just based on what I think looks good for my pictures. But so I have a pre-bump for outside and a pre-bump for inside images, and so for the outside, I'll give you a little shot of the edits over here. Again, this was shot with the Mavic Pro ISO 100, and I usually use just a 3 bracket for the outside shot. So you can screenshot this, write this down, whatever you want to do to try it out yourselves if you want to try to duplicate it. But there's a little shot of the initial edits. You come down here and drop some of the oranges and yellows and purples and magentas. I don't think this is real important. I think this kind of got copied over from my inside bumps because I don't like when you run through Infuse. I don't like when you have windows hitting hardwood floors. Sometimes it turns purple magenta, and I really don't like that. So anyway, not sure this is super important for my outside pictures. Sharpening, I have my masking at 39, so it doesn't necessarily do everything, but hits all the fine details, and the amount up to 75. I have my chromatic aberration checked in the profile correction for the Mavic Pro set. I think that's pretty much it for the outside. And if you do with the DSLR and you do the outside, it pretty much runs the same, I believe, with the initial edits, the colors and saturations, and the sharpening. And the only thing different is it changes it for the lens. I use the Tamron 15 to 32.8 with a Nikon D750 body. Outside, I always try to shoot at ISO 50, 7.1 for all my outside shots, and I usually do a 3 bracket with that. And then when you switch over to the insides and do an inside initial edit, again I shoot 7.1, but on the inside I usually go ISO 320. I find that kind of works best for my stuff. There's a screenshot of the first initial edits. If you want to write that down or screenshot it, pause it. This is where, again, from this group, I've learned a lot to desaturate the oranges and yellows, purples and magentas, and sometimes the blues. Sometimes I'll go in and drop the greens completely in afterwards. Just sometimes there's that green tint that comes on the walls from the outside reflections. Again, I think the sharpening is about the same, and profile correction I have set on both of them. So it's that's my first initial edits that I do. I'm going to reset these real quick just so you can kind of see my workflow. That I just really want it to be fast and easy, and come away with just good images. So once I have everything imported into my Lightroom, Again, I've deleted some of the shots, but I do have a good amount of pictures through here. So I'm going to just kind of run through real quick and just show you guys what I do. And also, I'm just going to start this little timer. And I'm going to do it and talk you through what I do. Might be a little bit slower since I'm talking, but I'm going to start this and just get an idea. No, I've never actually timed it, but I'm going to get an idea of how long it actually takes to run through some of this stuff. So I'm going to start this, and so what I normally do is I start on the first picture, do my pre-bump from the outside, and then everything with a drone shot I'll go through and just sync it with the crop, transform, everything in there, and I'll sync those together. Everything from the outside I'll start and do a new one because it's going to profile correct for my DSLR, not the Mavic. If you did it for the Mavic and copied it over to the DSLR, it's going to crop it and it's not going to look good. So there's my first initial. I run to the back here because I also have some outside shots here. I'm going to run through my pre-bump for the outside. And copy that over to the last bit. Okay, and so what I'll do is I'll run through here and grab my 3 shots of the same comp, run through, and then stack them. And this will be used later for the infused processing. I'll run through those. I usually tend to overshoot the amount of shots so I can deliver pretty good amount of pictures to the client, and honestly it doesn't bother me that much because the amount of time I spend shooting and editing is minimal in my opinion. You just get to run through them pretty fast. I think for this house here, including the aerials, I think I spent about an hour and 15 minutes at the house, and then I'm guessing around 40 minutes or so to edit. So now we're on the inside. I'm going to go to my inside bump, pre-bump, and then I'm going to run through and grab everything from my inside shots, sync those. Inside I usually do 5 brackets, sometimes I don't use the 5th, and then I also, on the first initial shot, I'll do a flash. You can see the shadow along here, but just a flash to get rid of some of the colors. Also got some advice from a member of this group, and figured, it comes out, works pretty well. So again, I'll go through and grab everything in these sets. Again, my inside, typically I'll do 5 brackets. Sometimes, depending on the room, it'll just be 3. Sometimes I'll shoot a couple of exposures, changing the flash strength on the same comp just to see what I like best afterwards. Sometimes this seems like it's the longest process of the editing, is just stacking them. And this is more information what you need, but for those of you that are concerned about the time it takes to process the images, I wanted to do a good amount of pictures just so you can see that it doesn't have to take all day to edit a house. I think we're getting pretty close. And sometimes you might have a little bit too powerful of a first shot, so might drop that down just a little bit. There we go. The edits, okay, they were done. Let's see where we at. 5 minutes 24 seconds. Okay, so now that I have all those in there, that's all of them ready to go. Is I'll go through there and highlight them all. And before I do that, when I drop my pictures in a folder, I'll create an empty folder called Infuse. And so here's all the raws. And then I'll have my Infuse folder already ready to go. And so when I have my Infuse plugin and blend them, the exposures first, let's see where we at. I believe there's a spot for a running it as a batch. There we go. Okay. And actually, before we get there, wanted to say that these drone shots, these are the only shots. Actually, I'll run these through first. And the reason being, these shots have to be blended with auto alignment because they're not sitting still on a tripod. So these are the only pictures that I'll auto align for. And so for the output, again, you just want to check your okay, and there's my Infuse folder for it. So select your folder and then Infuse images. And I'll run those with the auto align feature. Let those run through. So what we got for 8 pictures. These take the longest. So I will probably speed this up in the video just to run it through so you don't have to watch this process. But just so you can see, it started around 7:20. Okay, there we go. It has run through the 8 images just over 2 minutes with the auto align feature on. So just some of you that have complained about this being a slow process, I just upgraded my computer and it's basically a gaming computer, so it runs through pretty fast. So okay, so there's all the drone images have run through Infuse, and so now I'm going to run through everything else. So it looks like we got 35 pictures selected. I'm going to run through the same process, blending. The only difference now is I'm going to turn off this auto align feature. Pictures going to the same folder and run it through. Here we go. Okay, we're at 10 minutes 27 seconds. We'll let it run through, and I'll speed up the video just so you don't have to watch this process as well. Okay, looks like that's it. That was, what did I say, 35 images. Ran through in, it's about 16 minutes. This is taking a little longer than normal. I just started shooting 5 brackets instead of 3, so 3 would obviously run through pretty quick, but that's 5 brackets per picture. 35 pictures in about 16 minutes. So anyway, so there's those. I'm not going to go through what I would normally do for these, but just so you could see, you know, if I have my car in one of the pictures, I'll go through, edit it in Photoshop before I make any. Whoops, actually, let me back up. Sorry about that. So first we're going to go back to the library. We're going to find the album here and then open it up in Infuse. So here's all the infused images. So now we'll start from here. Go to the develop mode and then we'll go back. Edit in Adobe Photoshop. I'll just edit the original. So here we go. So again, there's my car. Usually maybe just go through, come over here, grab that, and just make a quick little eraser out of it. And then that. So I would do that for all the pictures. Go back here to Lightroom. Now my car's gone. So, alright, so for the outside, I have my outside bump. It's just kind of a standard to kind of get me close, depending on the clouds or lighting that day. I'll make that first after bump, and sometimes I don't always like exactly how it looks. Might need to change, you know, some of the color or saturation, but you know, it's not going to be perfect. It's just going to get you close. So, you know, I like the way that looks. I'm going to run through, sync those together, and then I'll go through and look at each picture, make some adjustments to them. There's my car again. I would go through and clone those out. I want to sharpen those up a little bit. Maybe some of them came out a little bit too bright the way the clouds were. Give a nice little pop. I would take out that sign as well. Okay, there you go. Okay, that's for the drones. Again, we'll go through, running outside. Run through, click that. I might go to the back, grab my other outside shots. Hit those with the same. Come through, kind of like working in little stages, so I'm running through just kind of getting my lighting down first, and I'll come through later and make some adjustments on the horizontals and the verticals. Obviously here you can see how crooked it is. It's kind of down a hill and shooting up at the house with some trees right above me. Okay, just running outside on this one. Try the inside. I kind of like the inside better on it anyway, so maybe make a couple of adjustments real quick. Okay, now we'll go to the inside. Inside seems to be a little more consistent with my my preset, after infuse preset. I usually tend to like that pretty consistently throughout the house after I shoot those. Okay, I'm going to sync all those together. Okay, now I'm just going to run through, check my lighting, check my tones, check my highlights. I'm going to get a little more pop with the shadows and contrast. We got the same crop there. I think I put the flash in a different spot just to see what I like better. You can see a little shadow there on the second shot. they're going to be a little bit different for each room. There's a lot of cabinets in here that are pretty dark. So again, I'll just kind of run through, make a couple little tweaks here. Again, I want these to be, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this process. I want it to be pretty quick. I don't do this full time. This is just my little side business. I have a full-time job that I do and shoot these in the afternoons after I get off work. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. I want to be able to see my family as well. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant on doing the lighting and the flashes and the flambient. The amount of time that I think is involved with editing those and blending them. I just kind of developed my process for this and like the speed and the time it takes just to process everything. Again, I like the way that Infuse, the presets, comes out looking pretty natural, in my opinion. Again, just depending on the house and the windows, and you just might need to come in and change things up per house. This house was actually pretty bright, a lot of windows, pretty bright outside, so, but that's it. So, okay. So after I got that, oops, the last thing that I'll do is I'll run through and correct the horizontals and the verticals. So if you haven't used this tool down here, it's really great. It's this transform. If you grab this little hashtag looking icon, you can grab, gives you 4 lines to correct. So you'll find which ones you like. There's the vertical I like, here's a vertical I like, and then maybe a horizontal here and a horizontal on the step. So if you go in there, you grab it, get your straight line, and then I'll try to find something with a crack so it's easier to see in the window. And there's your horizontal. Then I'll come over and grab my vertical, bring it down, correct that one, and maybe go over and grab something on one of these pillars. And then that's it. And I'll run through, do that same thing inside. I'll grab the door frame and maybe grab one here. I don't like that, so I'm going to grab maybe back here. Again, find a ceiling, floor, grab a wall corner, done. Sometimes Let's back that up. It'll crop out a lot of the picture, depending on how off I was with my original setup. Okay, let's try this. There you go. It's kind of the same thing. So if I have two pictures that are taken without moving the camera, I'll just sync those and then kind of see which one I like better. I don't like the shadow here, so I'm just gonna get rid of that one. So again, I'll run through, do that for all of them. Sometimes these look pretty good anyway, and not much is needed to be done to them. These are important. Definitely want to get these looking as symmetrical as possible. Okay. Let's start over on that one. Just don't like, sometimes you go too fast on these and they don't come out as good as you want it to. There we go, that's better. There we go. Good. Maybe run a vertical. Good. Again here, just look for these lines. You can see that it is not straight. And sometimes on this I want the table straight too, so I'm going to run that and correct that. Verticals look pretty good. These are pretty easy because you got good ceiling to work with.
Which one are you in?
And then
In Spider-Man?
maybe run the trim. See how that looks. And you got a couple good verticals to work with.
Doctor Strange. I'm Spider-Man.
There you go.
That's not Spider-Man. That's not yours.
Yes, it is.
Run the floor.
Oh.
Run the verticals.
We killed them.
Wait, what?
Where's that? Throw it.
What do you mean by throw?
What is that thing at? Oh.
The lightning one. And then I also have these pet spiders. Which, yeah, would be used to kill that person. I don't know what else to do.
And you have these lines in there that it's really helpful.
Seriously, dude?
What is he wearing?
I have no idea. Hey, guys, I can go in.
Always try to
If you can go in, can I?
work with these lines. Speeds things up a good bit. And then you can tell if a vertical is off just by eyeing it. Going maybe a little faster than I normally would, but you get the idea. Sometimes you don't have too good horizontals to work with, but let's see what that does. That might mess it up. And then if you see this going on, you can click this constrain crop down here. But I don't really like that, so
Right, look at how much money I have.
yeah, I'll get that. Maybe I'll get rid of that horizontal there. Just pay attention to my verticals. One there, one on the wall over here. Yeah. Go. Here's a good one.
So you
Just got a couple of multiple horizontals you can hit to really get it precise.
What? No way.
Strain crop. I really like what that did, but no, we're gonna start over with that one. Okay, I'm gonna try verticals first. And then we'll just go with a horizontal. Strain crop. I don't like that one either. So, let's try one more. Let's try the desk.
Sorry, what these things just aren't working.
Let's try a vertical. And say that looks good. Door frames always help. I don't even think I delivered this picture, but there we go. Grab the floor. Grab the ceiling. Now it looks pretty good. Again, grab the ceiling. Grab this line in the grout. Check the verticals. This one I couldn't get right in front in the middle. There's a bathtub and a bathroom behind me, so this is the best angle I could get. Grab a wall corner. Another corner. Looks good. Ceiling. This obviously we're not going to worry about the verticals, but we want to make sure the horizontals look good. I think that looks pretty good as is. Same with that. Check our horizontal. And we'll use the baseboard. That looks good. That one looks good. There's the door. Use this window. This one looks pretty good. I'm just going to try it out anyway. Check that, and we'll hit the door frame. Good. Okay, outside's really not much different. Grab that. Grab this. Grab that bar. Grab the siding. Grab a post. And we'll grab that. Alright, this is one that's going to be a little bit wonky. That's kind of my makeshift tilt shift. Shoot enough dead space so you can crop out a lot of the image afterwards when it does that. So we'll go constrain crop, and got this down, and we'll fix our horizontal here. There we go. Okay. That's pretty much it. I didn't do that with the outsides. Grab that. Grab a gutter. Grab another gutter. Pretty good. Make sure these are straight. And that's pretty much it. So let's see where we at on time. 50 minutes, front to back. While I was doing this, I had a second house I was editing as well, so you run through that, get your exports, and I think that's pretty much it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope that helps you with your editing, and good luck. Let me know how it turns out.